Junkie, do you have Crocs? Do you have Crocs?
No, thank you so much. I give you a razor, a toothbrush, and Crocs. So I don't wear Crocs because those are for state penitentiary.
They don't.
Yeah. You show up in Crocs, man, I'm done. No, Crocs, listen.
They don't give you leather Crocs.
I literally, my daughter had a pair of Crocs I threw out last week. I was like, these are not in my house.
How's it? Hold on.
I bought those needy hosts. Yeah, this is, my daughter.
Yeah. You threw out a 21-year-old stuff? No, no, no. I'm just saying, like, I like how you still got that iron fist. Like, not in my house.
Easy slides are Adidas. Easy slides are that's your,
He's all branded, Braylon.
not Crocs. Hashtag not Crocs.
I definitely was wrong.
Brax, but you have the B-Ray.
I like how that East Coast accent came out when you said daughter.
My daughter. We needed a white balance.
What's up, bud?
Modern day color cards over here. I love this.
I didn't get in close enough.
Still got a green.
If you do your entire
Jim, do you want to start this?
He said no. Okay. Hi, Petr. How are you? Everybody ready?
Yes.
I'm Jim Grease, MMA Weekly. I hate to go here right away, but for a fighter like you, you're a proud fighter. You had a big winning streak, and then you had the knee with Aljo, and then the two things. How do you ever trust the judges again, Petr? How do you ever trust judging in this sport again after these last couple? I know you said a lot about that, and how is your mindset about that now heading into this fight?
Ты шел на большой победной серии, потом произошло колено с Алджимейном, 2 спорных решения. Как ты после этого себя настраиваешь, как ты двигаешься дальше?
Да, безусловно, это был большой опыт, хорошие поединки, но я принял решение, если я решил драться, выступать, мне нужно двигаться вперед, отбросить эти мысли о прошлом.
Yes, no doubt, it was a good experience, big fights, but I made a decision. If I need to move forward, I need to forget about the past. So I'm just thinking about the future.
And now with this fight, obviously they know you because he's teammates with Aljo and they've trained you and there's a little history there, but how do you see this matchup and where do you feel like your advantages are against Dvalishvili?
Ну и говоря о Мерабе, у тебя уже есть история с их командой. Как ты себе представляешь вообще бой, как он пройдет с Мерабом?
Я думаю, что, в принципе, да, они знают уже, как ко мне готовиться, но я также понимаю, что будет делать Мераб.
Yeah, I think they know how to get ready for me, how to prepare for me, but also talking about myself, I'm also know what Merab's gonna do.
And last one for me, the division where it is now, we know you want the belt back. Cejudo coming back, O'Malley, where do you see yourself in that title contention order right now?
Говоря о титульной гонке в дивизионе, Сихуда возвращается, О'Малли тоже там претендент. Где ты видишь себя вообще в этой титульной гонке?
Я думаю, что нужно выиграть этот бой. Посмотрим, что будет дальше. O'Malley я побил. Если будет реванш, я сделаю это более увереннее.
I think I need to win the fight first, and we'll see what's next. I already beat O'Malley. If I'll have to do it again, I'll do it more convincingly.
Thank you.
I'm just curious if you think that Merab is taking this fight a little bit more personal than you are. There's obviously some history, both political and personal. I'm just curious if you feel like maybe he's focusing on that too much.
Говоря о Мерабе, считаешь ли ты, что он этот бой более на личный счет берет больше, чем ты? Он приплетает там политику и все остальное. Что ты думаешь об этом?
Об этом я думаю, что больше нечем ему привлекать внимание. Его бои незрелищные. Посмотрите, он как пес держит, ну, цепляется и держит, больше ничего не делает. Из-за этого он пытается как-то к себе привлечь внимание. Он никому не интересен.
I think, he doesn't have any other way to bring attentions to himself, He cannot do it with his fights. In his fights, all he's do like a dog, take the leg and push the opponent to the cage. So he's just trying to take a little attention with something else. No one is interested in him.
What did you think when you got the name? Was that a name that you thought was inevitable you'd have to fight? Were you excited about the fight? Did you want someone else?
Какие у тебя были мысли, когда тебе предложили Мераба? Ты хотел кого-то другого, либо наоборот был рад принять этот бой?
Другого из 105 не было, кто был свободен. И я просто не захотел ждать, не захотел быть без дела. И так как Мераб был свободен, я решил, что в нормальное время можно побить его.
Because no one else from top 5 were available at the moment, and I didn't want to stay out of the action, and I just wanted to stay active, and Merab was a good choice to beat.
Is there any excitement about fighting in a new venue? You guys are going to be fighting for the first time in that venue and a little bit earlier start time. Do either of those affect you at all?
Какие мысли насчет того, что это будет какая-то новая арена и начало турнира будет чуть раньше? Как-то на тебя влияет или нет?
Нет, я никогда не думал о том, где будет бой, во сколько, когда, с кем. Для меня это все формальности, на которых не стоит зацикливаться. Я здесь, чтобы делать свою работу и одерживать победу.
No, I never thinking about where fight's gonna take place, when, and who I'm gonna fight. I'm just focused on doing my job. I'm just focused on winning this fight.
Я с первого своего боя летел куда угодно, там, не знаю, везде дрался, где предлагали.
Since my first fight in UFC, I fought all over the world wherever they offered me. So.
What sort of fight are you expecting from him? Do you expect to have to go the full 5 rounds, or do you feel like you can finish him quickly?
Какой бой ты от него ожидаешь? Пройдет ли бой полную дистанцию или ожидаешь его досрочить?
Всегда хочется закончить бой досрочно, не оставлять, так скажем, вопросов за судьями. Вот. Цель, задача победить, и, конечно же, хочется сделать это досрочно, уверенно.
Yeah, you always want to finish the fight earlier. You don't want to leave it in the hands of the judges. And yes, my goal is to finish this fight early.
And my last question, how do you remain positive coming off of a fight where I think most people believe that you did win that fight? How do you remain positive going into your next fight?
Как ты остаешься позитивным, так сказать, в хорошем настроении после боя, в котором ты победил, как многие считают, но судья дали это в другую сторону?
Ты должен двигаться вперед, не останавливаться. Если я решил двигаться, то я должен идти вперед и доказать делом, что я лучший.
You have to keep moving forward. If you decided to keep going forward, you just have to prove with your actions that you're the best.
One quick one from me. I just wanted your thoughts on the Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo fight. Who do you believe will win that fight?
If it's fight will, I think Sterling will win.
What do you think, Henry's coming off a big, long layoff. Do you think that's going to play an effect during the fight?
То, что Генри после простоя возвращается, повлияет?
Да, я думаю, что, конечно, это повлияет, когда ты долго не дерешься и так далее, но я думаю, что Генри не покажет лучшей формы уже.
Yes, I think it can affect him. I don't believe he's gonna show his best shape.
And finally, it was revealed that Sean O'Malley could have been the backup for the fight, but he declined. I just wanted your thoughts on that.
И говорили, что O'Malley, возможно, будет подстраховывать этот бой, но он отказался. Есть какие-то мысли по этому поводу?
Вы же видите, O'Malley делает то, что ему говорят. Когда ему нужно принять самому решение, он их не может принять.
Но он отказался, наоборот, страховать бой.
Я говорю, что он не принимает решения. Ему должны сказать, что ты должен страховать, и все.
I don't know. I think that just Sean doesn't make his own decisions. He should have been told that he must to take it, and he would have taken it.
Thank you.
Just one question here. There's a video going around on social media right now, and it was of an interaction between you and Merab in the hotel. Did it feel like it was staged to you, like his camera people were walking up and they kind of wanted to make a scene when Merab walked up to you?
А встречи в отеле с камерами, с Мерабом и так далее.
Да, мы выезжали, и либо мы сюда уже ехали, либо на тренировку. Он подошел и говорит, давай сделаем интервью с Шоном, с Шмо, да? С Шмо. И опять же повторяюсь, ему нужно внимание, ему нужно себя продвигать, так как он не интересен. Мне тоже не интересно с ним делать какие-то шоу, интервью там и так далее.
I was leaving the hotel to training for NPI, and he came up to me and he was asking for a cross interview with Shmo to promote the fight. But like I already mentioned, no one is interested in Merab, and I'm not interested in promoting him either, you know.
Ну, вы видите, он сам себя навязывает, сам себя продвигает. Этого никогда не было приятно или как-то красиво, что ли.
You know, he tried to push himself too hard. He tried to force himself on being fans' favorite, but you know, it never worked out that way.
Без камеры говорит одно, на камерах он ведет себя абсолютно по-другому.
You know, the way he acts off camera is different. On cameras, he acts in a different way.
How is he different off camera?
Как он себя за камерами ведет?
А когда камеры нет, он вообще молчит.
When there's no camera, he is not saying much, actually.
Só tô aqui para ajudar.
Hã?
Só tô aqui por
Não, tranquilo.
qualquer coisa.
Well, first of all, welcome back. It's been a bit since you've been here. I know you suffered an injury. How are you feeling now? And did you want to get back a little bit sooner than now?
No, it's a good time. I had time to train, to focus on some adjustments and my training camp, and we're finally back and ready to go to the cage again.
Can you talk to us a little bit about what you worked on, or is that sort of top secret for right now?
Top secret.
Okay. What were your thoughts when you got the name and the date for your
Sorry?
return fight? What were your thoughts when you got the name for your return fight?
Oh, about Austin Lingo? He's an aggressive fighter. He's a good traditional kickboxer guy. He got a good hands, and I feel you can underestimate anyone. So he's a big fight for me, and I'm ready to go to come back and put all my best on the cage, and I'm just happy to be back.
What sort of fight are you expecting from him? Do you think you can get him out of there pretty quick, or do you expect to have 3 hard-fought rounds? What do you sort of anticipate?
Well, I'm working on a lot of jiu-jitsu, and I expect to submission, but we always feel inside the fight and see what's the way to the win. But I'm pretty much thinking about submission.
And what about the fact that you're going to be fighting earlier in the day than you're probably normal, and you're fighting at a new venue? Is there some excitement, apprehension, or do you even think about that kind of stuff?
About the time?
The time and the new venue.
Well, it's a fight, so no matter where, if it's rainy or not, we'll be fighting. We are ready for every situation, but it's always good. I heard they're gonna have the full arena, right? And yeah, it's always good to have all the fans watching, and yeah, that's it.
Do you feel like you perform better when you have the fans there? You have like a little bit more energy?
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
So much better.
Ricardo, you got your second spinning back elbow knockout in your last one. Is that something that you practice a lot, or is that just something that just kind of comes easy to you?
I think God gave it to me. It's something, I don't know, but for real, it's something that I had to repeat a lot, 1,000 times, and when you have the repetition, you have the confidence to risk inside the fight. So I think the repetition made me confident to throw these kind of techniques. So that's why I always like it to try new stuff, and I could make the spinning elbow one of my techniques on the cage.
I think if you keep doing them, they're gonna have to rename it to like the spinning Ramos or something, right?
Well, let the fans decide it. Thank you.
I just wanted to know, like, of your knockout of Danny Chavez or your knockout of Zahabi, which one do you like more?
I think the last one was better, just a little bit better, because I could engage the guy, and the first one, I like when they engage me and I throw the spinning back elbow. But the first time looked like lucky, They said, oh, it's a lucky move and blah, blah, blah. But after this, I could show like its technique, and I have a way to find the spinning elbow on the cage.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
You have more experience and you've faced tougher competition than your opponent. He's only had 3 fights in the UFC. How much of an advantage is that for you, having fought guys like Nurmagomedov and the competition you face that he hasn't?
For me, it's don't matter much, but because can be a motivation for him. Like, oh, I'm getting a veteran guy on the event. And for me, must be a motivation because, the new guy, he's hungry. He wants his space on the event. So it's just another fight, another day in the office, and I got to be there to perform with my best. Doesn't matter which situation I'm facing, So I try to lead with this situation like this. I don't judge this type of things, just to keep my mindset of always focus on the performance, on my performance.
How much better are you now? When you talked about learning from those losses and moving forward as a mixed martial artist, how much have you improved over the last, say, year or so as you've been through all that?
I can say I improved a lot. I don't know if they already have some machine to mastery or how much I could improve in this time, but I can say that I'm working on a lot of stuff like from jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and Muay Thai, because I like to be well-rounded. But I was a little bit more focused on jiu-jitsu for this camp, and I hope I can show it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Check, test, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, check, 1, 2. That's your channel 2. Okay.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome back. It's been about a year. Did you want to get back sooner, or was this a good time to have a turnaround?
Добро пожаловать. Прошел почти что год. Ты хотел так долго отдыхать или ты хотел, чтобы быстрее мог вернуться?
На самом деле я планировал вернуться быстрее, но, видимо, у UFC именно не было именно для меня вызовов и боев. Соответственно, я подрался ровно тогда, когда мне UFC дали бой. Я был готов биться раньше и, в принципе, готов биться чаще, поэтому если будут поединки, я готов всегда к вызовам.
I was ready to fight earlier, but it seems as though there was no call-outs in my name, or UFC didn't have any people for me to fight. So I'm going to fight whenever they have somebody for me to fight. Really, I'd like to stay more active. I'd like to fight more often. But whenever they call me, I'm ready to go.
Is that frustrating when you're sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting for a fight? Do you ever kind of lose hope and get frustrated? And how do you remain positive and know that fight's going to come?
Тебя это расстраивает, когда ты сидишь и ждешь, и понимаешь, что боя нету, какие-то такие чувства, я не знаю, растерянности или чего-то. Как ты вообще себя чувствуешь, когда такой долгий пробел между боями?
На самом деле нет, я себя чувствовал хорошо. Во-первых, я немножко отдохнул сначала, потом у меня было больше времени для тренировок, больше времени для того, чтобы поработать над какими-то своими более слабыми сторонами. Поэтому я провел это время с пользой, плюс немножко отдохнул психологически от поединков, потому что я последние несколько лет выступал часто достаточно, с хорошими оппонентами. В целом, думаю, что все пошло на пользу. Я не чувствую себя как-то по этому поводу расстроенным. Для меня это время пролетело очень быстро, на самом деле. То есть для меня как будто бы я дрался несколько месяцев назад, такие ощущения. Но при этом я соскучился, при этом я свежий, готов к новым боям и поработал над многими вещами, которые у меня не было времени поработать до этого.
No, actually, I feel good about it. I had some time to rest, and then I had more time to prepare and more time to train. I was able to train on the things that I didn't have time to train before, to sharpen my skills. So I think I spent this time well. I had no feelings of frustration or whatever. I kept on working. I kept on making sure that this time that I spent away was spent with purpose. There's something that I got out of it, and I feel good about it. I feel ready and happy to start fighting. Oh, and also, it was good for me to psychologically rest as well, because for a few years before, I was fighting quite often, and I was fighting really big, important names, important opponents, so it was good for me to psychologically kind of take a break from the fight game. But I miss it now, and I'm ready, and I'm charged, and I'm ready to go.
You mentioned that you were able to train in ways you weren't able to before. Can you tell us what that is, or is that a secret?
Ты сказал, что ты смог работать над теми вещами, которые ты не мог работать до этого. Ты можешь сказать, что это были за вещи, какие именно навыки, или это секрет, ты не хочешь его раскрывать?
Да нет, никакого секрета нет. Я работал очень много над именно силовыми кондициями, над своей силой, старался работать много железом, потому что как раз такой период хороший, когда нет выступлений, можно поработать над своими мышцами. Вот, в том числе я много работал над борьбой, потому что во время подготовки часто нужно уделять внимание всему, ударной технике, смешанным каким-то делам. То есть у меня было время поработать именно только над борьбой, то есть я просто боролся очень много, несколько раз в неделю, поэтому в целом ничего секретного, просто было время поработать более детально над вещами, которые я хотел подтянуть, и осталось только это проявить в бою.
No, there's no secret. I did a lot of strength and conditioning, worked a lot with heavy weights and then a lot of lifting and just making myself stronger. This is such thing when you're preparing for a fight, you sometimes don't have the time to spend and do it. So when I had kind of a lull time, I was able to really work on my strength. And then, of course, also working on my wrestling and just specifically wrestling. When you're preparing for a fight, you have to work all different aspects of MMA, whether it's striking or other different types of fighting. But specifically, wrestling is what I worked. I had time to work just on my my wrestling a couple of times a week, making sure that I strengthen all the places where I have weak points, and so there's no secret. It's just strength, wrestling. That's what I needed to work on.
What were your thoughts when you got the name for this fight? Was that a name that you thought you might be facing soon? What were you thinking?
Когда ты получил имя Романов, что ты подумал? Это то имя, которое ты думал, ты с ним будешь сражаться, или вообще какие у тебя были мысли насчет него?
На самом деле я особо по этому поводу не думал, я сразу согласился, независимо от того, с кем я дерусь. По поводу Романова, по моим ощущениям, если бы он выиграл Тебуру, то мы бы с ним подрались именно после этого боя. То есть я ждал этого поединка именно после победы его над Тебурой, но Тебура выиграть у него не получилось, поэтому, видимо, UFC дали ему какое-то время еще на передохнуть, и в итоге этот бой все равно организовали, потому что, видимо, никаких других бойцов сейчас занятых, с кем я еще не дрался в тяжелом весе, сейчас свободных нету. Что ж, это неплохой бой, чтобы, во-первых, и проверить мои навыки борьбы, которые я потренировал, и в целом, и проявить себя, выступить, заработать денег и готовиться к новым боям. Поэтому, по большому счету, не сильно важно имя, важно то, как я себя смогу проявить.
No, I wasn't really thinking about it too much. I basically say yes to whatever UFC says. Whoever they want me to fight, I fight. I was pretty much expecting him to win Tabora, and then we were going to fight anyways after his win, but it seems as though he wasn't able to conquer that puzzle, so the UFC obviously gave him some time to rest up, and they still made that fight between me and him, so I guess I kind of was expecting it. I just thought that it was going to come after a win as opposed to after a loss. But it's a good fight for me. Obviously, the name is not as important. What's important is that I'll be able to show my skills. I'll be able to practice my skills, the skills that I worked on for so long coming up to this fight. I'll be able to look at my wrestling and see how it matches up with somebody who is basically a wrestler. So I'm happy about this fight, and we'll see what happens.
And what sort of fight are you expecting from him? Do you feel like you can get in and out of there pretty quickly, or do you anticipate a 3-round war?
Чего ты ожидаешь от этого боя? Ты думаешь, что он закончится досрочно, или ты ждешь того, что будет все 3 раунда?
Очень сложный вопрос для тяжелого дивизиона, потому что все происходит по воле случая зачастую. Но, естественно, я настроен в целом на хороший поединок, готов ко всему бою. Это очень такие именно типичные слова и обычные, но так и есть. Готов ко всему бою, готов выиграть и раньше, и позже. Но в целом у меня есть план, следуя которому, скорее всего, я буду доминировать в каждом аспекте. А если я буду доминировать, вполне возможно, этот бой закончится раньше. Я буду стараться просто выполнить все, что я могу, все, что запланировано моим лагерем, моими тренерами. Как это выйдет в бою, мы посмотрим. Надеюсь просто, что это будет классный поединок для зрителей, чтобы это было не слишком долго, но и не слишком коротко, чтобы зрители насладились поединком, чтобы я тоже почувствовал оппонента, почувствовал свои навыки. Я просто буду получать удовольствие.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what to expect from it. When it comes to heavyweight division, every fight is a flip of a coin. You know, it might end right away or it might go all 3 rounds. It's typical words that everybody says. I guess I'm waiting for it to end quickly, or I'm ready for it to go the entire 3 rounds. The point is, I have a game plan. We studied him with my coaches. I have been preparing for him a certain way. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to try and instill my game plan. Pretty sure I'm going to be able to dominate all 3 rounds if it has to, in all aspects. So we'll see what happens. If it gets to go all 3 rounds, I'm happy for it. If it's not, I'm happy for it to finish earlier. What I want to do is I want to make sure and go and test myself. I want to show a good fight. I want to make sure that the audience is happy with what they see, that the viewers will see an exciting fight. And what will happen exactly, we'll see on Saturday.
And my final question, I'm just curious if you saw the main event last weekend and what your thoughts were on that heavyweight title fight.
Последний вопрос. Видел ли ты главное событие на прошлом карде? Понятно, Джон Джонс. Какие у тебя мысли об этом бое?
Да, очень классный бой. И Джон Джонс очень классно использовал ошибки именно Гана в этом поединке. То есть интересно было посмотреть на Джонса в тяжелом весе. Но мы еще многих вещей от Джонса все-таки не увидели. Мы увидели, что он умеет доминировать, умеет забирать центр, умеет хорошо контролировать себя даже с таким оппонентом, как Сирил Ган. Хорошо использовал момент для входа в борьбы, подловил на самые первые ошибки Гана. Но интересно будет посмотреть, как Джонс будет себя чувствовать на именно более дальних дистанциях, с более, скажем так, оппонентами, которые будет лучше сопротивляться в борьбе, более физически, ну не то что физически сильными, а более сильными именно в борьбе. В целом, конечно, поединок на меня произвел впечатление. Я думал, что он продлится дольше. Было круто, было интересно наблюдать Джонса в тяжелом весе. Я могу сказать, что это только освежит наш дивизион. Ну, уже освежило, сейчас все об этом говорят, поэтому это хорошо.
Yeah, I was very excited to see the fight. I thought it was a great fight. I thought John Jones was very good at using Ciryl Gane's mistakes right away. You could see that he used, from the very beginning, he capitalized on his mistakes. But really, we haven't seen too much from John Jones in this division yet. Obviously, we see that he's really good at wrestling, at instilling his game plan, on holding people down and on mauling people. But we'd like to see him on his feet, or maybe with somebody who is able to keep distance from him, or somebody who's better at defending wrestling, or somebody who's just a better wrestler down there who can give him some resistance down there. So we'll have to wait and see. But it is very exciting to have him in the division. Obviously, everyone's talking about it, so it really freshened up the division and got everybody excited. So I think it was a great fight, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Speaking of refreshing the division, there's a lot of change in that top 10 and a lot of new guys in there. You've been around a long time. Does that kind of reinvigorate you a little bit to know that there's some new guys in there that you can fight, you haven't fought yet, and just the division kind of turning over a little bit, some new opponents in there?
Опять же, ты говоришь, что с приходом Джонса очень много нового появилось в дивизионе и очень много перетасовалось всего. Давай поговорим про топ-десяточку. Теперь видно, что в топ-десятке все как-то поменялось, изменилось, люди поменяли позиции. Что для тебя это делает? Тебя это каким-то образом вдохновляет, возбуждает на то, что вот теперь в этом дивизионе есть много новых шансов, новых возможностей?
Ну, на самом деле, я не очень смотрю на положение конкретно каждого бойца относительно друг друга, то есть конкретно на топ-10. Я больше ориентируюсь на то, кто больше заслужил титульный бой или не заслужил. На самом деле, само положение не сильно, это не всегда отражает правильно. В целом, я думаю, тоже больше отталкиваюсь от себя, стараюсь импровизировать себя, чтобы завоевать титульный бой. Но для людей это должно сделать дивизион интереснее, потому что когда был чемпионом Гану, он дрался не так часто. И непонятно сейчас, как часто будет драться Джонсон, но тем не менее, хотя бы что-то сдвинулось с места. Надеюсь, это будет лучше для нас всех. Опять же, как и для меня, я долгое время ждал боя, именно потому что дивизион не двигался с места, и не было каких-то новых имен, новых людей. В целом, я думаю, что для бойцов и для зрителей это пойдет на пользу.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention much of who is where when it comes to rankings because that's not as important. The name's not as important as what's important is what did you do to deserve the title shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that in whatever fights that I show that I am the deserving of the next title shot. And I think that should be something that all the other heavyweights are concentrating on. The position in the rankings, it's not as important as what are you doing to be the next title contender. So I think it's very exciting. It's going to make it much more interesting for people in the division. I think that Ciryl Gane, when he was a champion, he wasn't fighting that much, and we don't know how many times a year or how often Jones is going to be fighting, but at least it's shuffling the board, it's making people move, it's making people understand that there's moving particles, and I'm excited to see what it's going to bring for me.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back. How are you feeling going into fight week?
Bem-vindo de volta. Como é que você está se sentindo nessa semana de luta?
Muito obrigado, boa tarde a todos. Estou muito empolgado, muito feliz, ansioso por essa luta, né? Para poder proporcionar um grande show para vocês aí.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everybody. I'm very excited to finally be fighting in the UFC, and I'm here to put on a show for you guys.
And this is your second attempt at a debut. How are you able to kind of relax and know it's finally happening, or is there a little bit of fear that something will happen like last time and you won't be able to actually make that debut?
Essa é a sua segunda tentativa de estrear no UFC, né? Que teve a outra luta que foi cancelada. Como é que você está se sentindo? Você está confiante? Você está meio preocupado ainda de se vai acontecer mesmo ou não?
Não, estou muito tranquilo. Eu acredito que as coisas acontecem quando tem que acontecer. Eu estava preparado para aquela luta, né, que seria em dezembro. Como não aconteceu, apenas tive mais oportunidade de estar me preparando cada vez mais, né? Então, eu estou super tranquilo, ansioso, mas tranquilo, porque eu estou bem treinado.
Honestly, I believe that things happen when it's time for them to happen. So if I didn't fight in December, there's a reason for it. I just took the time and I got myself a few extra months to train and to be better and to come back for this fight as a better version of myself.
Do you already feel like an official UFC fighter, or do you have to go through, the fight and have your hand raised before you consider yourself, a legitimate UFC fighter? What moment will you feel like you've arrived?
Você já se considera atleta do UFC ou você acha que tu tem que entrar lá e ganhar, ter teu braço levantado para daí realmente falar, agora eu sou atleta do UFC?
Eu já me considero atleta do UFC, mas eu acredito que eu tenho muita coisa a mostrar ainda, né? Cheguei agora no evento e, como se diz, a gente tem que fazer valer e provar mesmo que eu estou aqui, que cheguei, que é o meu momento. Então, eu acredito que eu estou, mas eu tenho que provar para vocês isso. Então, estou tranquilo também.
As much as I consider myself a UFC fighter already, because I am on paper, but I know that I need to prove myself, not just for myself, but to all you guys. Just show what I'm capable of, and come Saturday night, I believe that I will be a proper UFC fighter in everybody's eyes.
What are your thoughts of your opponent going into this fight? Have you spent a lot of time watching tape? Do you have your coaches doing that? What do you see in him?
E quanto ao seu oponente, né? O que você viu em relação a ele? Se você estudou o vídeo dele ou se ficou na conta dos seus treinadores, né? O que você acha do seu oponente?
Sim, meu oponente é um cara muito duro, um cara muito completo, que também busca todo dia estar melhorando. Ele é um cara que não tem um jogo muito certo de ser um cara ao grappling ou strike. Ele é um cara bem completo. Mas eu não me preocupo tanto com o que ele tem. Eu me preocupo melhor em mostrar a minha performance e cada dia eu melhorar o meu jogo. Então, eu acredito muito no meu crescimento pessoal para essa luta. Não no que meu adversário tem, mas no que eu posso proporcionar.
We watched a lot about Anton and saw the fights and everything. We know that he's a very well-rounded fighter. He's not someone that you can say, he's a striker or he's a grappler. He's very well-rounded and for sure has been working on his craft for quite some time. But to be honest, I'm not that worried about what he has and what he has improved at or what he has to show. I'm more worried about showing you guys what I have and what I am. And hopefully that's what I can do on Saturday night.
What sort of fight are you expecting? Do you kind of imagine going in there and finishing it pretty quick, or do you feel like you're going to have to go the full rounds with him?
Como que você imagina a luta se desenrolando? Você acha que é uma luta que tende a ir para decisão ou você vê ela acabando antes?
Pelo meu estilo e o estilo do meu adversário, eu acredito que essa luta não vai ficar até o terceiro round ser decidida por pontos. Eu acredito que não só acredito, como eu vou buscar terminar a luta o quanto antes, seja por nocaute ou finalização.
Knowing my opponent's style and my style, I don't see this fight going to decision. I believe it's going to end early. And if it's up to me, I'm going to be chasing the finish from the get-go, and I'm hoping for a first-round finish.
And you have a little bit of a unique experience. A lot of the fighters lately have been making their debut at the UFC Apex, so they don't have fans. You're actually going to be able to make your debut with fans. Is that something that you're actually excited about, having the fans and the energy there?
A maioria dos atletas do UFC recentemente tem tido a oportunidade de estrear aqui dentro do Apex, que quer dizer não ter público, né? E você está tendo essa oportunidade agora de lutar com o público logo na sua estreia. Como que você se sente em relação a isso?
Eu estou muito feliz, muito empolgado. Como posso dizer? Como eu te disse, as coisas têm que acontecer. Eu ia lutar em dezembro, que seria uma luta boa, mas também não estava tão empolgado contra o adversário. E agora, sendo no evento no Vargem, no Hotel Vargem, com um público, com um adversário mais duro. Então, tudo propício para ser um grande show. E por ter essa oportunidade de ser com plateia, então só me deixa mais feliz e mais empolgado.
Like I said before, everything has its time to happen, and I was supposed to fight in December, but the opponent wasn't as exciting for me as Anton, and it was going to be here at the Apex with no crowd, so everything worked out fine. I'm going to get to be in the debut at the Virgin Hotel, so that's a new venue to the UFC, so it's new to me, it's new to everybody, and I'm going to have a crowd around me, so that's really, really exciting.
Thank you.
I'm curious with you, making the debut and walking out first fight on a fight night card like this. Usually fight night cards are not as loaded as this one is with Yan and Dvalishvili and then the Spann and Krylov fight being moved. So how exciting is it for you, not just to be in a venue like that, but to open up the main card that's so loaded and get all those eyes on you?
Normalmente os Fight Nights não tem cards tão bons quanto esse, né? Esse, a gente tá com uma luta principal super forte, tá no card principal, que era uma luta principal de um evento anterior, que foi adiada, e você vai estar abrindo esse card, né? Como é que você se sente em relação a isso?
Pô, estou feliz, porque leão anda com leão, né? Eu poder não estar lutando no meio de tantos caras bons, é mais uma oportunidade de estar mostrando que eu estou no meio dos caras, eu nasci para estar no meio dos caras, e que esse é o meu lugar.
Honestly, like they say, the lions walk among lions, and if I'm fighting in this card, I'm going to have an opportunity to show them that I'm on the same level as all of these great fighters, so there's going to be a lot of eyes on the card because of all the talent, and I'm going to be there right with them.
And with all the people watching the build-up, what would you like UFC fans to know about you as you come in?
Agora, em relação ao build-up, né, a construção da luta, né, o que você gostaria de que os fãs do UFC saibam sobre você? Né, porque não teve muita mídia antes nem nada, o que você gostaria que eles soubessem sobre você?
Para todos os fãs do UFC, não só do Brasil, mas do mundo inteiro, vocês podem esperar um cara super técnico, agressivo, um cara que busca terminar com a luta, sempre dando um show, buscando ou nocaute ou finalização. Sou um cara que luta feliz, luta empolgada e estou sempre querendo mostrar minha melhor performance para vocês.
To all the UFC fighters in the US and all over the world, I can guarantee that you're going to find in me a fighter that always fights happy, always fights excited, and is always looking for a finish. So I can guarantee you guys are going to have a show whenever I'm in there. And that's what you guys are going to learn on this Saturday, that I must watch TV.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Well, welcome back. How are you feeling coming into this fight week?
Really excited for just a little bit nervous right now, but yeah.
Nervous because of us, or nervous because of the fight?
Nah, just because of y'all, pretty much.
We're more scary than your opponent.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, you're doing great. You've the last few interviews, you've been doing great. So, can you talk to me a little bit about your thoughts when you got the name, when you first heard that who you'd be fighting?
Oh, once I got it, I said yes right away. I was kind of excited because I wanted a rank opponent. So when his name came up, I just said yes. We take it.
Would this be the biggest win of your career, do you think?
Yeah, because he's ranked and stuff. So yeah.
What sort of fight are you expecting from him? Do you feel like you can go in there pretty quickly and get out of there pretty quickly, or do you expect to have to go 3 full rounds with him?
I really don't know. We just got to see.
What about the main event? It has a little bit of title implications in your division. How do you see that going?
That one's pretty good, so I don't know. So I'm excited to watch that one too.
You're not leaning one way or the other? What sort of experience do you feel like you're going to have this time? It's a little different. It's going to be a little earlier fight. You're going to be fighting at a new arena. Are you excited to kind of experience something a little different after having fought so many times? It's kind of routine.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to fight because of the crowd. But I think I fought earlier a couple times, so I don't think I'll make like a big difference and stuff.
Do you like fighting in the morning and kind of getting the fight over with and then being able to go out after the fights?
I don't know. We train in the morning, so it's like it doesn't make a difference pretty much.
And what do you see kind of going forward? If you can make it through this fight, who do you kind of see in the future, or do you not want to look that far ahead?
I don't want to look that far. I got a big name to this Saturday, so yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Well, welcome back. It seems a little odd to be asking you just normal fight questions because we asked them all last week, so I'm just going to ask you some different ones. Can you talk to me a little bit about the last few weeks, what's been going through your mind? At what point did you know this fight was going to happen now? Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
Sorry. The last couple of weeks was really business as usual. We did what we were going to do anyway, which was go straight back to training. So that's what we did. I think after we went through negotiations and stuff, I think I probably signed Thursday, Friday, maybe. I don't know. But either way, we was already ready anyway. We kept training.
Is there any, I mean, obviously there's a difference now. You're not the main event. You're not going to be fighting in Apex. So there's some good and some bad to this happening. What are you kind of focusing on, or do you think about that at all?
I honestly don't think about it. I guess it's neat to be somewhere else, and I think this is a new place that we're going to. But I don't put all my focus in that. That cage is the same, whether it's in there, right here. It don't matter to me. It's me, a dude that I can hit, and a dude that I'm not allowed to hit. So wherever you put that, we're good.
Is there any pressure off of you at all? Or I don't know if there was pressure last time, but not being the main event, you don't have to carry the whole card. You can kind of come in and fight less rounds, less pressure?
I don't think so. Even if it was, I like it. But if it was, I'm probably just used to it because I've always been main event. So even coming up from amateurs to even from amateurs to coming up through the regional circuit, the LFA and all that stuff, this is nothing new. So it didn't matter. It's all the same, like I said.
And you said that, you went just right back into training, but do you, with 2 weeks, I mean, do you try and learn anything new? Do you just kind of keep at
I was already ready, and I'm still ready. I'm actually doing better now than I felt going into that week, and I felt pretty damn good, but there was some nagging stuff that I needed that 2 weeks, so we're good.
So this is a positive thing. You're in a much better mood than the last time we saw you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And even then, well, the last time you saw me,
That's okay.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
What about catch weight? Is that, I mean, it just feels like everything seems like it's working out better. You've got the fans now. You're going to not have to cut weight again. You have less pressure. Is there, you're saying the 2 weeks. Is this catch weight a good thing?
It could be and it can't. So that's part of why I said we was going through the negotiations trying to figure out what was the best move to make. And from what we saw or what we thought, it was do it back at 205, which we could, or we already made weight and make sure that all parties involved show up. So, we settled at 215.
Were you paid for your last fight or your last appearance? Or were you compensated in this?
I was compensated, yeah.
What about the fear of it happening again? Is that fear in place, or do you feel like he's ready as well?
I mean, I don't really give a fuck. I just know I'll be taken care of if he show up or not. And either way, I'll be ready. And I'll be back at work Monday. So it's all good.
And my last question, was there any discussion between the two of you after that? Did he offer any apology or explanation or anything?
It was kind of hard being that there is a language barrier, but I did want to go in and check in and let him know that, it wasn't, like I was cussing and fussing, but it was really because I didn't want to let my team down. Like my coaches put so much into me, like even now having Mike Skacer here, and he owns his gym in Dallas, and he had to take away from that to be here with me. Like, I'm just ready to perform, and I've always been. And I just let them know that, like, I've been there. Like, I was sick for fights before that I probably shouldn't have took, but it is what it is. So I don't fault him for that. I honestly didn't even know we were allowed to do that. So that works out, I guess. I don't know.
What's up,
Nobody
Ryan?
told you you have sick days in the UFC. You get 3 of them.
See, I didn't know that. I honestly, one of them fights on my record probably wouldn't have been there if I didn't know.
What's up, Ryan? Hey, I just have to ask you, do you think fighting at 215, is that a little bit better for you? I mean, you're both weighing the same, but is that somewhat of an advantage to you? Do you like being a little bit heavier coming in, or do you see it as not an advantage or a disadvantage for either guy?
I don't think too much into it. We were already pretty close to. We're still fucking close to weight. Like I've been walking. I didn't get too big, and we've been focusing on not getting too big anyway. Like I said, we could have made 205, and honestly, we still can if that option was on the table. But by the time we did all the work, we was kind of stuck with the number that we got.
And then what about 3 rounds versus 5? Are you one of those fighters who changes your strategy based on the shorter fight? Do you still go in with the same game plan that you had for the 5-round fight?
When you look at fights and times and stuff, like all of that adds up and all that makes a difference. A 5-round fight is going to be a lot different than a 3-round fight. A 5-round fight is going to be a slower pace because you have to go 5 rounds if they can make it through. 3 rounds, knowing that I can go 5, I can go a little faster. So we'll see.
And last one for me, are you just that little bit stronger without having to go through the last bit of that weight cut?
I'm already strong as shit. So whether people know it or realize it or not, I probably shouldn't have admitted it. But is that my food? My bad, it's snack time. So what was I saying?
There's a benefit of not having to weigh at 205.
Oh yeah, no, it
that
don't
extra
matter.
snack in.
Yeah, like I can still make 205 right now if I want to, even with my snack and stuff. Like we're doing everything that we needed to do, and we're putting 100% investment into myself. So to stay ready, which is why I was saying I'll be back Monday. Which I'll be in Memphis, but I'll be back working.
Thank you.
I just wanted your thoughts on your teammate Jeff Neal's performance last Saturday. He went to war. I just wanted your thoughts on it.
Yo, first of all, that's a tough muffin. Yeah. So I'm not surprised that I saw the lands and all that, but me and Jeff have been at it a few times, and it ain't no way dude can hit him as hard as I hit him. So it really don't surprise me. But goodness, that was a wonderful fight, right? And it was great. I mean, we didn't get the result that we wanted, but looking at it, we know.
I mean, obviously, you've been training with Jeff and you've been sparring with him for many, many years. So, was it any surprise that he was able to take that much punishment?
The thing is, Jeff has always been that rough and tumble guy. A lot of people just don't get to see him out, too much. But Jeff is tough, and I damn sure tested a lot.
And then finally, I just wanted your thoughts on John Jones, his performance. You're a big dude. He's a big dude. Just were you surprised at his dominance and just what he looked like?
I don't understand what me being a big dude and him being a big dude got to do with.
Just you're a big 205er. He was always a big 205er. So I just wanted to know
But he's a heavyweight now.
Right, but so just as a big 205er, seeing another big 205er go up to heavyweight, what were your thoughts on his heavyweight debut?
I mean, it was impressive.
Thank you.
Hey, Ryan. I know you didn't want to talk too much about the last time we saw you, but I do want to say thank you for coming in and doing that. There's not a lot of human beings out there that know what you guys go through, the emotions leading up to the fight and then actually going into the fight and having it canceled like that. So that was, a lot of respect coming from me for coming in here and talking to us about that. So I just want to know, a lot of people out there see you as Ryan Spann, the athlete, but how is Ryan Spann, the man, doing right now?
I don't know, because honestly, I don't know if I want people to know Ryan Spann the man. Like, 'cause I honestly like to be to myself. Don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you. Like, we can laugh and joke or whatever, but when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. I don't know. I just like to be with my family.
Appreciate that, man.
For sure.
Just one. I know eventually you want to go up to heavyweight, my man. What weight do you think you will fight when you do make the jump to heavyweight?
That's on that man over there, Mike Scacia and Eric Pena. I'm a mercenary, bro. I do what I'm supposed to do. You pay me, I show up and do it, take out whoever it is you need me to take out. So whatever we come up with, weight, then it's probably more so we'll test it to see where I feel best, in my new body. Like my old body, I can get pretty big, and then it's a chunky big. So it's gonna be different by the time, if we move up, it'll be different. Because I could just be out when Kennedy is ready. So we'll see, we'll figure it out.
Awesome. Best of luck. That's a ginormous cooler, big cooler for a big man. Yeah. Look at that thing. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Well, welcome back. How does it feel to be back?
Great, really good.
I'm sure that you didn't want to be gone this long, but can you talk to me about kind of what you went through during that time?
A lot of training and a lot of rehab before that. So it sucked, It's like being out, I don't know, it just does, it's like you're just training, and you got a fight coming up, and then all of a sudden you get hurt again. I was like, oh my gosh.
How do you remain positive? How do you know for sure that this moment's going to come?
I just, hear from the doctors, and they're saying that it's not a long-term injury. You're gonna be okay. And then, my wife and my teammates telling me like, yo, don't worry about it, man. You'll be back. So.
Lately, we've seen quite a few fighters coming back from long layoffs. John Jones, Tatiana Suarez. I know you haven't been gone as long as them, but seeing them come back successfully, does that give you motivation?
Definitely, yep. Because, shows it can be done,
Do you believe in ring rust, or do you think that's more mental? Do you think that just depends on the fighter? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it depends on the fighter, and I've been fighting so long, I don't feel like I have ring rust ever, so.
What are your thoughts on your opponent?
He's a really good fighter. He's well-rounded. He's got lot of good knockouts that I've seen, and you know, he's dangerous. So I'm ready.
What sort of fight are you expecting from him? Do you feel like you can get in and out of there pretty quickly, or do you feel like it's going to be a 3-round war?
You know, it could go either way. It's we're both heavy hitters, so we'll see how it goes.
And I know, normally a fighter, I would assume, would want to get in and out pretty quickly, but when you're coming off a layoff like that, maybe you want to be in there a while. Maybe you want to test yourself. Maybe you want to show that you're good. Is that a feeling, or you're like, nah, I just want to get in and out?
Of course, in and out, that's the best way,
What about this new venue with fans? It's a different experience. Are you excited to be one of the first fighters to fight in that venue and kind of see what it's all about?
Definitely. It's in Abu Dhabi. There was the first time that I fought there. They had fans, so it was like the first time after COVID, and I was like, oh, thank God. It's better to have fans. So I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Austin, I just wanted to know, how does it feel to be fighting with your teammate Ryan Spann?
Oh, Spann's awesome. He's a great fighter. It's cool having him on the card too.
And I just wanted your thoughts on your teammate Jeff Neal last Saturday. Wasn't just a epic fight. Just wanted your thoughts on it.
Yeah. Jeff is a warrior, man. That guy can fight, and he went in there, and I was screaming at the TV. I'm like, that was a good one. But he left it all in the ring, so.
And I just wanted to know, like, how disappointed were you to, you're on this 2-fight winning streak, right, man? And you had this momentum, and then the 2 injuries you had to withdraw from. Like, how disappointing was that, and what was the emotion like?
Very disappointed, man. I was like, man, I just kept asking the doctor, like, am I gonna be okay? Like, am I gonna get cleared? He was just like, yes, you're gonna be okay. It's like it's not a long-term injury. You don't need surgery. Anything you don't need surgery for, you're probably okay. So, so I just put my head down and kept training, man. I just got to do what I got to do.
Which one, you're supposed to fight JSP, big fight, and then you're supposed to fight Onama, which is a big fight too. Which of those fights were you I guess both of them, but which one really hit you the hardest that you had to pull out of?
The JSP and the Onama, or probably Onama more, because it was the second injury that I had, and I was like, what? And then just it was sucked, man. It was bad.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem.
You guys ready? Alexander? Coming in to face a guy like Volkov with his range and his height, obviously you like to get in and shoot some takedowns and do some things and have your way up against the cage on the ground. So that reach that he has with the boxing and the striking that he has, how do you see yourself attacking that, and where do you see an opening for yourself against him?
Понятное дело, что ты приходишь сюда, у тебя будет бой против Волкова. Волков очень высокий, у него очень длинный размах рук. Я понимаю, что ты, наверное, хочешь его перевести и сразу прижать к клетке, прижать к канвасу и разобраться с ним на земле. Но, в принципе, как ты думаешь, пройдет бой? Как ты выстоишь его бокс, его длину его рук и так далее? Каким образом ты попытаешься зайти и перевести его? Какой у тебя план вообще на бой с ним?
Почему-то все недооценивают мою ударку. Да, Александр очень сильный, крепкий боец, он базовый ударник, я базовый борец, и абсолютно весь мир будет ожидать того, что я буду стараться его перевести и, как вы говорили, уже финишировать его именно на канвасе. Но я думаю, что, учитывая ту работу, которую я проделал со своей командой во время подготовительного лагеря, вас очень сильно удивит. И если нам придется рубиться в стойке, мы готовы к этому. Все 3 раунда без проблем. Но я думаю, этот бой закончится 100% досрочно.
It seems as though the entire world is underestimating my striking. I mean, obviously, his base is stand-up, his base is boxing, my base is wrestling. So the entire world, just like you, thinks that I'm going to take him down and I'm going to have my way with him on the ground. And yeah, obviously that is in the plans. But the thing is, we're completely improved in our stand-up. We're ready for the fight. If the fight's going to start standing up, then we're going to keep throwing standing up. And I think you'll be very surprised with the preparation that me and my team have done in the actual stand-up department. So listen, if we're going to stand there and trade for the whole 3 rounds, we're ready for it. And what I think you need to know is that this fight is definitely not going to last 3 rounds.
Okay. So what about your striking have you worked on the hardest and improved the most?
Что именно в твоей ударке, над чем именно ты работал, и насколько тебе кажется, что ты улучшил ее за это время?
Начиная от защиты, заканчивая комбинацией с рук, с борьбой, и выхода из борьбы, перехода на руки. То есть абсолютно мы работали над всеми аспектами. Я думаю, что я кардинально изменился, именно как профессиональный боец в стойке.
I mean everything, anything from defense on your feet to taking it down to wrestling, then coming out of wrestling, coming back up on your feet and striking from there. So really, if you think about it, I think I completely changed my approach as a fighter, and I think you'll see it on Saturday.
And he's had a ton of fights compared to you. Obviously, he's got big time experience, but I'm curious, you bouncing back from your first loss against Tybura, what did you learn from that fight about yourself, and what did you take forward to improve and continue to get better to face the level of competition that you're going to keep facing as you move on up?
Понятное дело, что у него намного больше профессиональных боев, чем у тебя, но, в принципе, что мне интересно узнать, это как ты вернешься после твоего первого проигрыша. Готов ли ты к такому бойцу, к такому оппоненту, как Волков, после того, как у тебя был первый в твоей карьере проигрыш, как ты перестроился и готов ли ты сразиться с таким бойцом?
В принципе, я никогда не выбирал себе оппонентов, я готов драться абсолютно с любым бойцом, с любым представителем, без разницы, у него будет ударный бэкграунд или борцовский. Если я здесь, то это говорит о том, что я хочу стать лучшим, и для того, чтобы стать лучшим, я должен бить лучших. И единственный урок, который я извлек из моего прошедшего поединка, что не стоит оставлять исход поединка на решение судьям. То есть я четко осознаю, что я иду в октагон, и я должен выиграть, и для того, чтобы выиграть, я должен это сделать досрочно.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's got a lot of experience, but the fact is I'm not ever going to choose my opponents. I'm going to fight with whoever's put in front of me, whoever's the hardest fighters, the hardest punchers in the division. Doesn't matter if they're stand-up fighters or if they're wrestlers. I will take on whatever opponent the UFC gives me. And the only thing that really I learned from my last fight is do not leave it in the hand of the judges, right? So because you can't trust what decision they're going to make. So what I need to do is I need to go in there, dominate, and make sure that the fight ends before the judges get to decide whether I won or lost.
And last one for me, he's had that long career, right, with both of you guys being Russian, being born in the Soviet Union. Was he a guy that you watched as you were getting into the sport and you said, hey, I like Volkov? Were you a fan of his? Are you a guy who rooted for him?
Понятное дело, что у него очень длинная карьера. Вы оба русские, вы оба родились в Советском Союзе. Смотрел ли ты за его карьерой до тех пор, пока ты стал сам бойцом, и видел ли ты его, как он выступал, как продвигалась его карьера до того, как тебе пришлось вот сейчас с ним биться?
Да, конечно, я всегда следил и за его карьерой, и, в принципе, абсолютно за всеми бойцами, которые являлись выходцами из СНГ. Что хочу сказать, что он меня всегда впечатлял, он всегда был достойным представителем своего рода, он всегда уважительно относился к соперникам, то есть такой конкретный пример настоящего русского мужика.
Yeah, of course, I watched his career growing up and watched the way he progressed. And actually, not just him, but all fighters that come from the former Soviet Union countries, I made sure to be a fan of the sport as well as learning from them, from their careers. And what can I tell you about him? I mean, he was always a good example of a great fighter and a humble guy just outside, you know, just a good example of a good Russian dude.
Alexander, it's always fascinating how professional athletes deal with their first professional loss, and I just wanted to know what were the emotions like after your loss at UFC 278?
Всегда очень интересно знать, как профессиональные бойцы, что они делают после своего первого поражения, как они с этим справляются. Вот интересно мне узнать, какие у тебя были эмоции и что ты испытывал после того, как получил наконец-то это первое поражение в своей карьере.
Ну, я считаю, что абсолютно каждый боец со мной согласится, неважно, это твое первое, второе или пятое поражение. Поражение, оно всегда горькое, но зачастую одно поражение может тебя научить гораздо большему, нежели 100 побед.
Yeah, obviously I think a lot of fighters will agree with me that no matter if it's your first loss, second loss, fifth loss, they're always bitter. Nobody likes to lose. But I really think that even one loss can really teach you a whole lot about your career, even more than the wins.
Do you feel like there's less pressure off of your shoulders now that zero's gone?
Как ты думаешь, у тебя теперь меньше давления после того, как уже этот нолик с твоего рекорда убран? Теперь уже не так много давления?
Этот нолик вообще никакого давления на меня не оказывал. Мне абсолютно было безразлично на этот нолик, потому что я к этому всему отношусь как профессионал. Дорога профессионального атлета всегда чередует поражения с победами. На все воля Божья, все в его руках. Моя задача всего лишь тренироваться как можно усердней. А как будет дальше, уже все зависит от нашего Всевышнего.
That zero really never had any kind of pressure on me or on my career. You know, that's not. If you look at all professional fighters, they always go hand in hand. You got victories and you got losses. So really, all I can do as a professional fighter is keep improving, keep training, and everything else is in the hands of God, right? Whatever God decides, whatever God has written for us, that's what's going to happen. All I can do is keep improving and keep pushing forward.
We haven't talked to you since that fight at UFC 278, but did the elevation from Utah play a factor into your gas tank?
Мы не говорили с тобой, в принципе, после 278-го, после прошлого проигрыша, поэтому скажи, пожалуйста, то, что это было в горах в штате Юта, повлияло ли то, что это было высоко в горах, на твое кардио, на твою дыхалку?
Сейчас можно много чего говорить, искать какие-то отмазки. Я все-таки из тех людей, которые адекватно всегда смотрят на происходящие вещи. И если была поднята его рука, а не моя в конце боя, значит, я где-то не доработал. И искать какие-то отмазки, это из-за того, что в горах было или там солнце не так светило. Ну, это ерунда. В первую очередь я мужик, и я должен выходить и доказывать это в октагоне. А искать отмазки, я думаю, это не совсем мужской удел.
Really, there's no reason to look for excuses, you know, elevation, or maybe the sun wasn't shining from the right corner or whatever. The fact is, if my arm wasn't raised at the end of the fight, that means that I didn't do something in order for it to get raised. There was something that I didn't do to get the win. So first and foremost, I'm a man. I need to prove every time I get into the octagon that I'm the man, that I'm going to be the winner. So if there's something that happens when that doesn't happen, that's my fault, not anybody else's or any other force of nature's.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And finally, it is the battle of the Alexanders. You're just spelt without an E at the end, so I just want to know whose is spelt better.
И в конце концов, это битва Александров, но почему-то, так как пишут твое имя, там нету одной из букв, да, буквы И, американской. Скажи, пожалуйста, чье имя написано правильно?
Я думаю, что у нас у обоих правильно написано, просто я из Молдовы, и у нас имя Александр пишется именно без буквы И, Ну, в принципе, это чисто морфологическое значение этого слова, потому что у нас в стране молдавский язык, у нас не кириллица, а латиница, и получается на молдавском мое имя пишется именно вот так.
Really, it's not his is wrong or mine is right. It's just the fact that I'm from Moldova and this is the way it's spelled in Moldova. So this is just a question of linguistics. The thing is, in my language, we don't have Cyrillics. We have Latin letters, and in Latin, it's written letters. It's written without the e. So it's just basically, geographically or linguistically, that is the way it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex, for the time. Alex brought up a good point with the acclimation and such. Was there any major changes, and what were they, to come into Vegas and fighting a little earlier, even though you're still on the main card of the event?
Александр говорил про то, что акклиматизация может сыграть очень большую роль в этом бою. Что-то изменилось или как-то тебе это поможет, то, что приехал в Лас-Вегас заранее и акклиматизировался, и то, что бой будет раньше, а не позже, каким-то образом это повлияет на твою подготовку или на то, как ты будешь заряжен?
Ну, как я уже говорил, я не особо обращаю внимание на такие моменты. Самое главное, то, как ты отпахал весь свой лагерь. Я в Вегас прилетел всего лишь 2 дня назад, а до этого я завершающую свою подготовку проводил в Балтиморе, в клубе Rising Tide Академия. И, в принципе, я чувствую, что я акклиматизировался, чувствую себя замечательно, четко вошел в климатическую зону, четко вошел во временные пояса. То есть чувствую себя замечательно, отлично, в хорошей форме. То есть нет каких-то таких травм, которые бы помешали мне выйти в субботу в октагон и показать себя во всей красе.
Once again, I'll mention that, it's not about acclimatization or time or elevation, any of that stuff. If something's going wrong, it just means that you didn't work hard enough to prepare hard. So I've only been in Vegas for 2 days. Before that, I actually finished up my camp in Baltimore in the Rising Tide Club. But I've only been here for 2 days, and I feel like, I've acclimatized fine. I'm good with the time change. I feel good. I don't have any kind of injuries that could prevent me from coming out on Saturday and being in top shape of my life, of my career. So I feel really, really ready. I've prepared, and I can't wait for Saturday.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. And last for me, there's a new king in your division. Just your thoughts or opinions on John Jones and his performance this past weekend at T-Mobile.
В нашем дивизионе новый король, в твоем дивизионе новый король, поэтому, если можешь, просто поделись своими мыслями насчет того, что Джон Джонс теперь чемпион, и то, что он вернулся, и вообще, как это влияет на дивизион и тебя.
Ну, меня уже об этом спрашивали, и я повторюсь. Я считаю, что Джонс — это такой очень классный боец, который послужит очень хорошему пинку под зад всему дивизиону. Это заставит абсолютно каждого бойца тренироваться еще усердней, становиться еще более разносторонне развитым. И для меня это тоже очень хороший вызов, очень хорошая возможность доказать, что я достоин быть в числе лучших планеты в этом виде спорта. Так что, пользуясь случаем, хочу Джонса поздравить и сказать, что молодое поколение наступает на пятки.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, I've said this already. I've been asked about this. I think Jones is an awesome fighter, and him coming back is a great swift kick in the ass for the entire division, for all of us to train harder, to train much more specific, to work on all of our styles, to be more well-rounded, to get up and train. And if I could use this opportunity, I'd like to congratulate him with becoming a champion. And I think him being here is a great opportunity to also for myself to show that I belong here, that I deserve to fight with the top of the top in this organization and in the world. So I think nothing is bad about him being here. I think it's great.
Excellent. Thank you, sir, and good luck on Saturday.
Welcome back. Did you need that time off, or did you want to get back a little bit sooner than now?
I wanted to get back sooner, but this time we didn't want a short notice fight or just rush into something. So we wanted a proper camp, and that's what we did. And and now we're here. So if I could choose, I would be here sooner, but my coach chose, so we took a proper camp and not a short notice.
So is that the no short notice, was that just due to the fact that you're coming off a loss and you want to make sure that you have time, or is that going to be a philosophy for the rest of your career that you won't take short notice fights?
I actually prefer short notice because then you don't have to do the camp. So hopefully I will do more short notice.
So what's your coach's reason for not wanting to do short notice? If you're the one that's hoping for it, what's the argument between the two of you like?
He's just calling me lazy, that I don't want to work out, and I just want like the short notice, the shortcuts. So that's his thing he always says to me.
Is he right? Are you a little lazy?
Nah, I wouldn't say so. I just want it the short way.
What were your thoughts when you got the name Victor?
One more time.
What was the thoughts when you got your opponent's name? What were your thoughts about your opponent?
Not that much. I saw him and I thought it's gonna be a good matchup for me. So easy money.
Easy money.
Yeah.
You feel like you can get past him pretty quick? You don't expect it to go 3 rounds?
Nah, I don't think I have the condition to do 3 rounds. He's like a muscular guy, good looking, but it doesn't matter how good you look. This is MMA, so.
Do you feel like he got here on his good looks?
100%.
He's
almost handsome as me.
Well, then who is the most handsome man?
You're looking at him.
What sort of plan are you looking at ahead of him? Or are you going ahead? Are you kind of looking at your year? Do you want to fight 3 times, 2 times? What's the game plan going forward?
That's a question for my coach, but I want to, of course, do a fight as soon as possible after these 2.
And my last question, and probably the most important question, I'd like you to explain your Instagram photo. I don't understand why you have the emojis. Can you explain it to me? Your profile picture on your Instagram?
Sometimes I just change. That's my... I don't know, actually. I don't have a reason for that emoji right now. I thought it was cool for the moment. I'm gonna change soon. Everybody's asking me if I'm a sad cowboy all the time, but it's no reason. I just took it for fun.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Anton, I wanted to go back to your Contender Series fight, and it was a dominant win, but you didn't get the contract. And I just wanted to know, what were the emotions like after that night? You know, you'd worked so hard to get to this stage. You get the win. Most of the time, Dana White will give contracts to winners on that show, but you didn't get one. What were the emotions like after that?
At the moment when I sat there in the chair after the fight, I was waiting for Dana. I knew I wouldn't get the contract because I did not a spectacular fight. So at that moment I was feeling a little bit down, but then there come a guy to me and told me like, yeah man, you don't need a UFC contract, you're gonna get the model contract. And then I was feeling much better.
Awesome. And then finally for me, where did the Pleasure Man come from?
The Pleasure Man?
Yeah.
My dad is always, when I was younger, all the people always told me like, oh, you're so good looking and you're so cute, like a really small kid. And my dad said, no, he's sexy. And therefore they called me the Pleasure Boy, and now I'm older, I'm the Pleasure Man. So right now I'm just in the UFC to pleasure the fans.
I love it. Good luck.
Thank you, man.
Pleasure Man, you mentioned the shorter camps. Does that mean you're the type of fighter that stays in the gym year-round, so that making weight on a short notice is not a problem?
I'm like, I don't know how much. It's like I'm like 220 when I walk around, so I'm always close to weight. I want to go up to heavyweight, but always when I spar with the real heavyweights, I feel like a light heavyweight. So therefore, I'm going to stay a light heavyweight.
Excellent, sir. And besides the looks and what have you when it comes to Vitor, what are your advantages? What do you see? You're like stronger striking, grappling, conditioning. Where do you see yourself with the edges?
It's not that I have the best punches, hardest kicks, or best grappling, good condition. as everybody knows, too much pleasure can be really dangerous. So I will use my pleasure.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir, and good luck this Saturday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Well, welcome back. Seems a little weird to ask you the same questions we did last week, so I'm going to just focus on some of the newer stuff. Can you tell us kind of what happened and when, at what point you knew you weren't going to be fighting?
Understand. So, nice to meet you again. Now I feel better. 2 weeks ago, we talked about this with Roman Fomin, and I think it's be not fresh eggs, you know, because in our room in hotel we don't have refrigerator, and I take my food in evening Friday, and Saturday morning I take food, and after 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, I feel myself bad. My temperature stay higher. I feel big discomfort inside. We come on Apex, work with doctor. He give me 1 pill. After 1 more pill, we try was do all what I can fight, but I can do it. It's first time in my career for 10 years in UFC. It's really first time. That's why it's big and many emotion for me. I, как сказать, не привык.
Not used to it.
Not used to cancel fight. Every time I go fighting for every for anybody condition, but this really bad and really first time.
What was the main, I guess the main emotion when you realized you weren't going to fight? Was it, oh no, I don't have a paycheck now, or oh no, my team won't be able to fight, or you know, what were the emotions and what was the big thing that really hit you at that moment?
All what you say, because with me stay here my team, and we was take a big distance, 3 months prepare for the fight, and all my team wait this fight because I was being really good condition, and I want see my family. I want come back at home, but I must stay here more 2 weeks, and now I understand I standing here more time because my friend have fight after 1 month, and we stay here. He prepare, he fight, and after we come back home. That's why all change after this happened.
What do you do in those 2 weeks? Do you keep training? Do you relax? Do you look at the game plan and keep going, or do you kind of just almost take a break for 2 weeks until you fight again? And what goes on in those 2 weeks?
It's not was the break with training after Saturday incident. I'm take a small break, maybe 2 or 3 days, and on Tuesday we try do small training workout. After a little bit more and more and more, and on Friday and Saturday I feel myself better, and we take a good workout. We проверили, как будет? Проверили, ну, проверили кондиции.
Check my condition.
And check my condition. I think I was stay a good condition, and now it's fight will be 3 round and catch weight. That's why I can relax this week and wait fight.
Do you feel like it's a little bit better that you're able to come, like, you know, you had the main event and that was great, but now you can come back and you have less pressure because you're not the main event. You only have 3 rounds as opposed to 5, and you're fighting at a higher weight. So does it almost feel like this is a little bit better than the first fight?
Yeah, in theory, this look like better, but for me, better make my first main event and show great fight. But it is what it is. I happy and thanks God for all what happened with me, and I already fight on this Saturday.
Did you speak with Ryan or his team or anyone from your team, speak with them about what happened? Did you guys talk at all?
Yeah, when this was happening, Brian come on our training room. Doctors work with me, and he say, he little bit disappointed, but health, it's health, you know. And we take hands, and I wait when I come with him in octagon.
So do you have a refrigerator in your room now?
No, I haven't. But I was stay all my food on UFC office, and all time just fresh eat.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys so much.
Hello, Saeed. Oh, there he is. Great. Hello, Saeed. How are you?
Hello, good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Just curious how you're feeling coming into this fight and looking at your recent fights and seeing the work that you've done. See, you're just really hitting your stride right now. Can you talk about what that feels like, especially a submission game? You've been a machine lately with that. Just talk about that evolution and that growth, please.
Хотел узнать твои ощущения, как ты себя чувствуешь, если посмотреть на твою работу, проделанную до этого боя. Очень вообще легендарная такая работа, очень хорошо, особенно с болевыми, с удушающими. В принципе, какой настрой, как себя чувствуешь про проделанной работе и как готов к этому бою?
Чувствую себя очень хорошо. Осталось пару килограмм сгонять. Прошел хороший кемп. Приехал за 6 недель сюда, в Вегас. Хорошо потренировался. Настрой на победу.
I feel really great. I only have a couple more kgs to go down, and I had a great camp. I've been in Vegas for about 6 weeks now. I feel great. I feel ready, and I'm ready for the victory.
When you're getting ready for this fight and training for him and looking at his, obviously he's got the finishes on the feet. Do you see anything in his striking and anything in overall with him where you can take advantage and implement your style and take control of the fight?
Если посмотреть на твоего оппонента, у него очень много финишев в стойке. Как ты к этому готовился и готов ли ты навязать свой план и, может быть, перевести его и закончить его на земле?
Да, он очень хорошо работает в стойке. Я тоже работаю в стойке. Будет интересный, зрелищный бой. Сетка покажет.
Yeah, he's a great stand-up fighter, but I'm also a good stand-up fighter. So I think it's going to be a very fiery fight, a good fight, an interesting fight, and you know, the octagon will show. We'll see.
And then last one for me, after this fight, maybe looking ahead, and I know you're focused on this one, but it seems to me like you're going to be ready to take that next step, or you could be even now to start fighting some guys ahead of you. Have you thought about that at all, and who are some people you might have your eyes on as you move up in the rankings?
Ну, понятное дело, что мы не будем заглядывать за спину оппонента. Я знаю, что ты настроен на субботу, но, в принципе, с выигрышем в эту субботу, не кажется ли тебе, что ты уже готов к высшим оппонентам, к высшим соперникам, и потихоньку начнешь уже разбираться с людьми в пятерочке?
Да, я-то уже давно готов драться с высшим, с топами. Что-то не дают мне. И даже те ребята, с кем я дрался не в топе, они, можно сказать, и не хуже тех, кто в топе.
Yeah, I've been ready to fight the top competition for a long time. It's just that for some reason I wasn't given that competition. Even those guys that I did fight that are not in the top yet, they're not any worse than the top fighters. So I've been ready for a long time.
You were just here 3 months ago. I'm curious if that's a good time turnaround that you like, or do you want a little bit more time in between? That seems pretty quick, but some fighters want to get back in faster than that.
Мы тебя видели здесь 3 месяца назад, достаточно быстрое время ты вернулся обратно. Хотела узнать, как для тебя это нормальное время между боями 3 месяца, или ты хотел бы чуть дольше, или это как раз-таки правильный для тебя отдых разница между боями?
Да, это нормальное время. Я хочу драться часто. Я не гоняю много вес. Если нету травм, готов драться через каждые 2-3 месяца.
Yeah, I mean, this is great timing for me. I'm ready. I don't do too much weight dropping, so I'm good on my weight. As long as I don't have any injuries, nothing that prevents me from fighting often, that's what I like to do.
And you'll be fighting at a new venue here in Vegas. First time the UFC's been there that I'm aware of. Are you excited to kind of test out that new venue, be in front of fans again? What's the feeling going into it?
Ты будешь биться в новом месте. Это первый раз, по-моему, насколько мне кажется, что UFC в этом новом отеле, в этом новом месте. Насколько для тебя это интересно, для тебя это заряжает, то, что это будет новое место, или тебе без разницы?
Не, мне вообще без разницы, где драться. И я думаю, чуть там арена будет, может, больше зрителей будет. Apex чуть маленькое место.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me where to fight, but I'm excited about the new spot because it's going to be more of like an arena-style fight. There's going to be more people. The Apex is good, but it's kind of small, so it's excited to see a little bit of a crowd.
And we've got a big bantamweight fight in the main event. I'm curious if you have a pick or how you think that fight's going to go.
И главное событие будет бой в твоем весе. Интересно мне знать насчет, кто ты думаешь победит, и насколько тебе интересно, кто из этих двух победит.
Не могу сказать, кто победит. Оба хороши. 50/50. Просто чуть-чуть преимущество, я думаю, у Яна, потому что Ян дрался 5 раундов. У Мераба не было 5-раундных боев. И хватит ли ему функционалки? Так-то функционалка у него хорошая на 3 раунда. Но не знаю, как 5 раундов продлится. Ян уже не раз дрался 5 раундов и хорошо себя показывал, хорошо дышал.
Yeah, I'm not really sure who's going to win. I mean, they're both pretty great fighters, and I think it's a 50-50 choice. The difference is that Yan has experience going 5 rounds, and he's fought 5 rounds before, and he's shown himself really well in 5 rounds. So that's something that he has privilege over when it comes to Merab. I'm not sure if Merab is going to be good for all 5 rounds. Obviously, he's had 3-round wars, but will he have enough functionality for the entire 5? We know that Yan will. So I think other than that, it's going to be an exciting fight, and I'm interested to see who's going to win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody.
All right, Merab. Well, it's main event fight week. Does it feel different for you?
Not really. I'm fighting against former champion Petr Yan, and this fight means a lot for me. And yeah, this is main event, but every fight in UFC very important for me. Even I was fighting first fight on the card or prelims or pay-per-view, every fight in UFC is very important, and I have to make sure I win this fight, and that's all.
Why is this fight in particular more important for you?
I have many reasons. First, this fight is not only fight, this is personal for me. He's from Russia, I'm from Georgia, and we all know Russia, what they do, what they're doing to Ukrainian now, what they did to Georgia, and Russia is not, as a politic, it's not democratic country, and you know, I want to win for my people, and I have so many support from my country, and so many support from Ukraine too. But Peter is a great fighter. He's former champion. We all know he's top. He's, as a fighter, he's a great fighter. He's dangerous, and he don't have hole anywhere. You know, he's good striker. He defends wrestling good. You know, his cardio is good, and this is my toughest fight. But and I have other reasons. You know, I think he's a great fighter, good family guy, but he's not a humble guy, and he's not great human, I think, you know. But it doesn't matter how good fighter you are, you have to be good person. You have to treat people well, and I don't care if you're a good fighter or no. I just want to be a good man, and then for people, and for give good example for other people. And you know, he's cheater. You know, he was champion and he don't know rule, and then he was disrespect my friend, and he don't use his platform when he was champion. You know, he wasn't doing like great things. You know, he wasn't like doing any charity or any like humble things. You know, and I don't think he's a good guy. You know, like maybe he's good for his family, but other than that, you know, what he's doing, nothing.
He seems to think that you're creating this drama between the two of you because he says that you don't have anything else, that you're not interesting. He says that when the cameras are off, you're a different person. So what do you have to say to him?
Hey, okay, I'm gonna start from beginning. So when I see him 1 week ago in UFC PI, and I tell him we was talking, I have some questions because I bet with his friend $50,000. He say, his friend say Anatoly Malkin, he's a ONE FC double champion, and he's Peter's good friend, and he said, Peter's going to win this fight, and let's bet $50,000. I said, okay, let's bet, and I'll just winning. And we make bet, and all his country, all my country know about it, and it was big deal. And of course, Aljo beat Peter, and this guy asked me to give him my account number to deposit money. He never sent me money. After he said he will fight in ONE FC, and ONE FC will send me directly money, but they never sent me. When I asked him, he asked me again my account number, and I give my Georgian account and US account, because he was complaining about US, he cannot send me money because of sanctions. But in Georgia, he was able to send me money, no problem. But he tell me, his friend Anatoly tell me he send me money, but and money never came. So, and then I was asking, why don't your friend pay me money, and where is my money? And he said, I tell Anatoly to I win Aljo's second fight, and then don't pay Merab money. What kind of man he is? He's not a good man, and he's not a man. And I hope Anatoly, he's the man of his word, and he's gonna do the right thing, and he's gonna pay me. If not, I'm going to Thailand. I'm gonna find him, you know. And so Peter, when I tell him to, I was talking, I have some other questions, you know, how he don't know rule. He was champion, and every time we fight right before, referee is coming and explain the rules. Every state, you know, Nevada or New York or even in Europe, a referee comes and explains the rules. And first thing they tell you to when opponent is ground, they will call you ground, don't hit knee, don't knee or don't kick, and no eye pokes, no low blow, like. And then I said, how you don't know rules? And he was keep saying so. Anyways, and then first time he said, okay, let's do a video, and then Shimo was supposed to do it, video, like to me and him, and then he back up, he bitched out, like he said no to Shmo. And then yesterday when I see him, I tell him, let's do it. You know, I was still respect to him. I said, let's do a video, let's promote this fight. You know, since we don't have a press conference, let's promote. And then, but he said, no. And then I was nice to him without camera, because I met him right before fight. I'll just fight. And then, like, in day before, he said, when he's gonna see Aljo's team, he's gonna kill Aljo's team. And then I was with my two other fighter friends, and Peter was with his coach. Of course, like, I don't wanna take his moment. He has a fight. He was supposed to fight Aljo, and I don't want any drama, or I don't want to, of course, fight him. I said, focus on your fight. Best of luck for you, and let's talk after fight, you know. And I was nice, you know. I don't wanna, like, I keep it professional. And when Aljo beat him, I forgive him. I'm like, move on. I don't care anymore, you know. Who cares about him? And second time I see him in Abu Dhabi, he was fighting O'Malley. I see him right before this fight, and then I was like a little away, and then he pointed at me, and then he say, "Oh, I look small." And then I was smiling. I look, I sizing him up, and I was like, nice smile, you know. Whatever, I was respectful, because he has a fight. Again, I don't want to take his moment, you know. That was his time. And then he pointed me again, and he said, I am a zero. So I'm going to show him, if I'm zero, I'm going to beat him, and I'm going to make him humble. That's all. But if he's the man, he should face me, and we have to do a video, and let's talk before the fight, because we're going to fight professionals, you know. We're not going to fight free. We're not going to fight free, you know, in the street. You know, we're going to fight professional, but let's talk. Let's find out who's the real man and who's the right or wrong. You know, he knows he's a bitch. He don't want to talk with me, and that's why he's back up, and he don't want to do a video talk with me. You know, we are professionals, and we should do this and promote this fight, or like let's just find out like what's his head and what he's thinking about. Just other than he's a good fighter, what other good things he can do in life, and because when he told me his friend don't have to pay me, when we bet, he don't have to pay because he don't lose. Like, what kind of man he is? So he's a fucking liar and piece of shit. Sorry.
That's okay. When you look at this fight, do you imagine going in there and beating him really quickly, or would you rather, last the 5 rounds and torture him through 5 rounds? Which one are you kind of hoping for?
Actually, I want to knock him out, but he's toughest opponent I ever have. And it's going to be a tough fight. It won't be easy for me. But like I said, I'm going to look for knockout. That would be sweet. If not, I don't care. I take any win, either decision, submission, or split decision. I don't care. I just want to win against him. And yeah, like I said, make him humble, because he's cocky, Russian bully, and I don't like that.
I know right now there's some political stuff going on in Georgia. I know a fighter was arrested for protesting.
Yeah.
Would a win mean something for the country?
Always, my country is democratic country, and people always been protesting, and now, like, there is another protest in my country, and our professional fighter Mate Sanikidze was protesting, and then he got arrested. Free Mate Sanikidze. I wish him to be free soon, because he's a great fighter, and he will be out. It's my country, it's democratic country, and he was fighting for democratic rules and everything. So so everything will be good. Mate will be out soon, and my country will continue life as a democratic country, and my country very welcome for visitors, for guests. We love guests. Even Russia is our enemy. When Russian people coming to our country, they love it. We treat them well. Our guests, it's from the God, and we are very famous with hospitality, and we love guests, and we love everybody. And in my country, all religions, we are Christian country, democratic country, but all religion, we all live peace, and we all live good, and I'm proud of this. And my country is good, and my country, you can protest whatever you want, so yeah, I don't want to go too political, but everything will be good. Mate, I hope Mate will be out soon, and it's part of the life. This is.
And we know you're not going to fight Aljamain, but if you win this fight, the next logical step would be a title fight, or you would have to change divisions. What's the plan if you get through this?
First, I have to win this fight against Petr Yan, and after I will beat him. Aljo said he will beat Henry Cejudo and O'Malley, and he's planning to move up weight class. And if Aljo decide that, and if he wants to do it, I will fight title next. I'm not gonna fight another opponent. But if Aljo decide to stay and fight another contenders in a clean division, I will fight somebody else, or maybe cut to 125 and fight whoever will be champion there. Otherwise, like I said, if Aljo decide to move up, I will fight title next. I'm not fighting. I don't have nothing to prove. I don't have to fight Peter either, because I have 8-fight win streak. Peter has 3 fights. I think from 4 he lost 3. So, and then he last 2. He's coming from last 2 lose streak. So, but I want to be busy, and it's actually I'm giving him chance to, if he beats me, then I guess he will be contender for title too. But, I don't want to wait, and I want to challenge myself. And this is, this is how UFC wanted, how he wants. Actually, he asked UFC to this fight, and okay, no problem. UFC asked me. I have never said no to my opponent, my challenge. Whoever UFC give me, whenever they give me, I'm always willing to fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, and I'm always will do. But like after this win, like I said, if Aljo decides to move after, it depends 2 more times, but if decides to move up, and I fight title. If not, then I will clean division.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Merab, right here.
Yes.
I wonder, you have a great team and training partners, and you've just helped prepare Aljo for 2 fights against him. So you know him really well, and your team knows him really well. It kind of reminds me when Dominic Cruz finally lost to an alpha male fighter, because they had fought him so many times. So how much does that help you, having helped Aljo train for these fights, and having your coaches and your team have that experience of game planning for him for 2 title fights?
Yeah, it's a good question, but even Aljo fought him 2 times. Peter is still dangerous, and he's, how are you going to prepare a fight for him? He's fight hard always. He has a great striking. good wrestling defense. Even he can wrestling too. He has a good cardio. He always fights hard. He's former champion. It's hard to prepare fight with. You gotta go war. But Aljo told me one thing. Yes, Peter is tough, but he's human. Aljo believe I can beat him. I have to do just my style, and I can beat him. So I believe myself, and I want to win this fight so much, and I'm just gonna put everything into it, and I believe myself, and I make sure I'll be winner on Saturday.
Do you see, and I know you're not going to tell us what it is, but do you see something that you can capitalize on? Like, for example, something like Alexa Grasso just did against Valentina. Yeah. He does this, you do that. Do you see something that you can attack the minute you see it in the octagon?
No, I don't see any holes with Peter. I have to fight hard. Either it's wrestling or either it's striking. Everywhere he's tough and he's good, and he's been on top a long time. And I don't think he has like these holes, but I have to break him.
It's interesting because you don't have respect for him as a person, but you have a lot of respect for him as a fighter.
For sure, he's a great fighter. He is a great fighter, and he's a good family guy. He has a good, beautiful family. He has 2 kids and everything. Like I said, he may be good for his family, but I don't think he's a good person in real life, and that's what I'm complaining about. But he's a great fighter.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Merab, right here, brother.
Hey, how are you?
Question for you. You're normally a pretty humble guy, and now, you got a little bit of animosity coming into this fight with Peter. Do you enjoy having a little bit of beef with a fighter coming into the fight? Does it get you more hyped up?
Sorry. No, I rather fight somebody. I rather fight somebody like regular, normal opponent, like it was Jose Aldo, Marlon Moraes, Cody Stamen, John Dodson, or Casey Kenny, and I have so much respect to all my opponents. And if Jose Aldo beats me, I'll be same happy I was for myself. And if it's not good for me, but it's good for you. God bless you. Move on, and then good luck for your future. And then it's a fight. Somebody has to lose, somebody has to win. I rather fight like this. This is extra pressure like this because I don't like that guy. I don't think this guy is good, and that's why I have to make sure I have to beat him. That's my thing. I rather fight normal good fighter. Because I don't have enemy, man. I don't like this drama. I don't like this is. We are professionals, yes, we are fighters, but this is real. I'm really mad about him because, whatever I see, I don't like his how he's doing. He's lying. He's not real man. In the life, and that's why it's everything like this.
Do you think there's any chance after the fight that you guys can be friends?
We will never be best friends, but I'm not. Yeah, I can be friends with him if he apologizes and if he will be if he will be sorry all about, and if he will come humble, and no problem. And I'm not looking for enemies, but now this time I don't like him. But after the fight, we'll see. Let's see how he's gonna do. And he's from Russia, and if he's against the war and if he wants peace, we can be friends. But if he supports war, I'll never be his friend. Thank you.
Merab, thank you for taking the time. We've seen you in big fights, pay-per-views, co-main, all that good stuff. But now you're the main event. How much more do you like it? How enjoyable is it to be on the poster, to get all this attention? Or do you not like it so much, because you're just a fighter's fighter and like to focus on your performance in the cage?
Uh,
How have you liked all this attention?
Right. Actually, yeah, to be main event, of course, is good, and this is a dream for every fighter, and it feels good. You know, this is my 11th fight in UFC, and I have 8-fight win streak. I think I should be 10-0 UFC, but because of judges robbed me or like stupid like decisions, but feels good. But actually, like last time when I fought in Salt Lake City, it was pay-per-view, and I was more busy with like media and stuff. And like I don't think I have tomorrow any media or anything. So today will be done, everything easy. It wasn't like super crazy like from media, and then like now I don't like so many podcasts ask me to do interview and stuff, but you know I try to keep it smart because I have fight and I cannot give an interview everybody whoever wants, you know. Otherwise, yeah, this is big fighting main event. Of course, it's big, but the other day I'm fighting Petr Yan, and I have to win against him. I don't care anything else.
Excellent, thank you, sir. And last for me, I've seen the beautiful headgear before. Not that today, but what are you? Can you explain the outfit? What you have going on today?
Yeah, this is from my country, traditional head made from sheep and goat. It's yeah. So it's very warm in winter, and when our grandparents or people used to live in mountains, they used to wear the papaha. It's good in the snow, good in the rain, and it's warm. And actually, our people used to wear like this outfits because they used to have bullets here. They used to have a knife because my country has a beautiful territory, and we used to attack always from other neighbors. Like, you know, back then it was like a lot of wars for religion, and like we used to attack, you know, a lot. And our men always was ready for defend the family. You know, they have knife like this and maybe big, and then they have bullets. You know, there supposed to be bullets. It's not real bullets, but so those has to be bullets. And so men was always ready. So the papaha, they used to live in mountains. They used to have animals like cows, sheep, and then, like I said, they was defending family, animals, and countries. And you know, this is like represent my people and represent my culture. And I'm proud of be Georgia, and yeah, that's all.
Excellent, thank you, sir, and good luck this Saturday defending and representing.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.